Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's
What's
Destiny.
up? And it's your boy B to the Sis Not Easy.
And we are back with another
video. One, two, three. A video. Comment down below. This is what y'all been in my DMs asking for. So I mean, I've been delivering. I give the people what they want.
I want to know who's been in his DMs asking for that.
I literally had like 10 or 15 DMs.
Please let me know. Okay, so we're back with the Q&A part 2. We promised you guys that we would do a part 2, and we're already here. We just posted the other one like 3 days ago. So if you haven't seen it, go back and check that one. This is part 2.
Part 2. Let's get into it.
Let's
go.
So let's just jump right into it. So first question is, you're gonna go first and I'll go first.
Okay.
What advice would you give your younger self between the ages of 22 and 25?
Between the ages of 22 and 25, what advice would I give my younger self?
A piece of solid advice.
See, this is really subjective because there's so many different facets of life. That is it professional? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, is it financial? Is it from a dating standpoint?
Where do you think you needed the most advice that you didn't get?
Okay. Ooh, that's a good one. So I feel like I needed advice financially. For me, it was like I was one of those people who, you know, they got credit card offers in the mail, and I'm thinking it's free money, so I'm just opening them, you know, applying. Well, I didn't really need to apply because, I mean, they already were sent to me.
They were giving it to you. Remember that, y'all? Oh,
they used to give us credit cards.
Yeah. Like, oh, you know what? When I went to college, they would set up, like, you would walk into the building
and there'd be
and
booths.
it was like 5 booths on both sides,
Yeah.
like asking you to sign up for credit cards. That's kind of crazy now that I think about it.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, I looked at it as free money. I was activating them, and I was just charging them up because I'm like, oh snap, somebody sent me free money, not knowing that, you know what, I gotta pay this money back. And it hit me later on because what happened was it ended up affecting my credit. And I will tell you guys this, your credit is your livelihood. Like, your credit is going to be how you get most things in life. Whether it's a house, whether it's a car. Unless you just balling and you can pay cash for everything, cool. But for me, it was the credit. It messed me up, and I had to end up paying all this stuff back to get my credit back right. So I wish someone would have told me that credit cards are not necessarily a good thing. It's cool to have maybe 1 or 2, but if you get credit card offers in the mail, tear them up, because it's not worth it in the long run. Yeah,
I would say a good 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
I think I would have been good with at that age.
And it's to help you build up credit. So the 1 or 2 that you have, you are establishing credit, because when you're out of college, I mean, you don't really have any credit, right? So it helps you establish credit and things of that nature. But for me, I just had about 6 or 7 of them, and I was maxing. Yeah, but they was like 500 a pop. I was getting 500 here, 500 here. So
wow.
And it messed me up. So I wish I would have got that type of advice in my early 20s.
Okay. For me, early 20s, man, you know, it's so crazy. Like, my early 20s were just so different for a lot of people.
Yeah.
As you guys know, like, I've experienced a loss at that age of my late fiance, who was my high school sweetheart. We had been together like 7.5 years.
Yeah.
So I spent most of, like, that time frame was pretty much like depression, like staying in the house, not doing anything, not socializing, not valuing friendships, relationships, not cultivating them. So I think that I wish someone would have told me to, in the midst of a loss, you still have to, like, cultivate and cherish the people that you have in your life.
That's good.
And, like, you know, focus on those relationships, still nurture them. Yeah, just move forward, but don't, like, just spend more time with the people there. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the time that I was spent, I was just kind of like zoned out, spaced out, not really there. I was sleeping a lot, working, sleeping a lot, working. So I don't know, though grief is necessary, like for you, you need to take time to heal if you're going through that. You know, it's very necessary to take the time to heal. But just don't forget about the people that are around you. So
in other words, grieve, but take advantage of your support system.
Bingo. So yeah, I wish someone had told me that, but that was my experience at that time frame. So
right.
You know.
And I mean, I totally agree with that. Because I mean, everybody heals and grieves on their own time and schedule. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can understand that. Take advantage of the support system because it'll help you kind of move forward and get through things. So I could definitely see that.
And I always say move forward. Notice I always say that when I speak on grief. It's always moving forward. It's never like getting over.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you never truly get over. You just move forward. Life goes on. You still live. You still got to pay bills. You still got to eat. You still got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you have other things that you're responsible for. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Woo. Okay.
We kicked off.
Jumped right into it.
We kicked off heavy, hot and heavy in this bad boy.
We did. Okay. Next one is, do you and Brandon ever get into heated arguments? And if so, how do you resolve them? You want me to take it or you want to take it?
So to answer your question, I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, we definitely get in arguments. I mean, that's, if any couple tells you they don't, they're lying, right? No marriage is perfect. No relationship is perfect. Everybody's getting into an argument. So we definitely get in arguments. I think in the past, a couple of them were heated. Just because we were new at this, right? And, you know, we were coming together from two different backgrounds, two different people trying to make this thing work. And then we had social media going on. We kind of like, our marriage really kind of kicked off at the same time as social media.
And COVID. And moving together.
Yeah, so.
Everything.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. So in the beginning, I mean, yes, I wouldn't say it was a lot of heated arguments, but there were a couple of blow-ups that we had. And I just feel like, I think with kind of praying about it and just having the desire to really want to get better at communication and, I don't know, just knowing how to really understand that we're not each other's enemies has kind of helped us to minimize those. So I think over time, we've just learned how to have a desire to want to communicate better, and it's helped us a lot. And I just feel like with us or with anybody, it really doesn't have to get heated. You just got to know how to talk to the other individual and remember that that person's on your team. They're not your enemy. They don't have any malicious intent towards you. And so you got to kind of keep that in mind and just have the desire to be like, you know, I want us to resolve this in a way that, I mean, we get favorable outcomes for both of us, you know? So that's just kind of how I look at it.
And I would say a long time ago, somebody told me something, and I, to this day, cannot tell you who it was, but it's never left my mind, where you have to choose your battles.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of times, like, you get maybe irritated about something, but you can't just like fight about every single thing.
Yeah.
So I think that also is really helpful to always keep in the back of your mind, like, you have to choose your battles. Like, every time you get upset about something, just be like, I gotta choose my battles. Like, you really want to argue over, I don't know, a jacket on the floor every single time? Or, you know, do you just want to just choose them wisely, and which one are actually going to be like productive and not counterproductive to just be arguing for no reason?
Ooh, and I'll piggyback off of that, going back to the desire, because here's the thing. it is so easy for us to fight every battle. It's so easy for us to be petty about everything. It's so easy for us to go around here not talking to the other individual. All that stuff is so easy, but you have to be uncomfortable, which is why I was saying the desire, right? You have to have that uncomfortability to be like, you know what? In this moment, in this situation, I'm just gonna be the bigger person, or I'm gonna just take an L on this battle. Like, marriage is about compromising and sacrificing and dying to self. So like, those heated arguments, a lot of those can be minimized if you just have the desire to want to not let them get to that certain point. So that's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, same.
Because
it's gonna happen inevitably. I mean, you're literally around someone 24/7, especially like in the case of Brandon and I. Most of like his work is home and my work is home. Yeah. So, you know, we're really together like 24/7. So I would also say like making sure that you make time for separation, like guy time, girl time, couple time, and then like date time, because that's also important, like outside of the house, outside of responsibility, like just going somewhere, getting, you know, just clearing your mind, you know. So those things are important and we really value that. Matter of fact, tonight sounds like it would be a good date night.
You see how she just did that? You see how she just did that, boy? You see that?
I kind of want to get cute. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You see how she just...
Okay, well, that's another one. Communication.
True. Communication is key, man.
And
like
listening.
Communication is your bloodline. That's your, I mean, not bloodline, that's your lifeline. Yeah. I mean, you have to be able to communicate. Like Destiny said, if you need to get away, just tell your significant other, hey, I'm going to kick it with my homegirls tonight, or I'm going to kick it with my homeboys tonight.
Or today, day dates.
Or yeah, whatever, yeah. Just whatever you have to do to not put yourself in a position where you're getting tired of the other person, because when y'all start getting tired of each other and on top of each other all the time, that's when it comes. Yep.
How do you keep your relationship with your husband so bubbly? Why do you guys have such a good connection? That's a good question.
That's a real good one.
So I'll go, but I think it's two parts. I think it's you and I.
Yeah, we both. Yeah.
So I think part of it has nothing to do with me, right? And I know that sounds crazy, but part of it has nothing to do with me. Brandon is literally just naturally when he walks in, the party starts type of guy. Like when the function starts, like it doesn't start until he walks in type of person. Like he's just naturally that way. He's naturally happy within himself. I think that's also another thing. I'm happy within myself, because I feel like if you're not happy within, then you can't really make someone else happy. So those kind of two things I'm not really responsible for. And then aside from that, like I think it's just, again, intentionality, making sure that we intentionally communicate our goals, our feelings, our desires, and not just goals, talking like long term, like next week, you know, tomorrow, what does 2 weeks from now look like, you know, 6 months. So yeah, that, and I just think naturally, like we were really blessed in such a bad situation. You know, our relationship started pretty much when COVID happened. So we kind of... Our marriage. Yeah. So we pretty much like, we spent so much time together. So we were able to like really learn each other. And because it was around the clock, right? Work was home, you know, even when we were working our full-time jobs. So I think it's just the intentionality of communicating and really just kind of like really knowing your person. Plus it's just like a connection that you can't really explain, which I guess explains why we kind of like got married really quick and got engaged really quick, and you know. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I second everything that she said. Also, like we're just, the connection is from the standpoint of we're just best friends. When you have a best friend, think about how you're connected to them. I mean, you guys do everything together. You do life together. You share things. You go through ups, downs, highs, lows, peaks, valleys. You go through the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know, together.
And it sounds cliche, but you have to really think about that.
You got to really think about it. Like, when you think of your best friend, like, like at first I used to think people threw around best friend like kind of loosely. When you think about your best friend, I mean, that's somebody that's just your ride or die. Like, you have, like, there's nothing that could separate y'all. Blood couldn't make y'all any closer than y'all are, right? So for me and Des, we've been best friends since, I mean, since we got together, really. Like, I mean, of course, you know, it takes time to become somebody's best friend. But I'm saying, we were acting like we were best friends. We were spending all our time together. We would be on the phone together. I mean, we were just doing things and connecting on a level that was just more than just surface. It was like we were deep inside each other's like thoughts and what we wanted to do and our visions and how we wanted to move. And so, I mean, for us, that to me, the connection is just the fact that we're best friends before we're anything. And we
pray out loud.
And I
think that's significant too.
Yeah, you have to have that. I mean, you got to have that spiritual connection as well, because if the spiritual connection is not there, then no connection is going to be there. If this doesn't line up with him, nothing's going to line up. So
yeah, I could never.
Yeah.
Could you ever date someone with a different spirituality?
No, because we're not equally yoked, and I feel like this is just going to cause issues, and I don't think God will be in the mix.
Yeah, well, he can't, because the other person.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I don't really want to be that person to be like, well, you need to convert to be this and that. I just don't want to be that person. I could tell them, but I don't want to be the person. So for me, I just rather be like, all right, well then, fortunately, we just got to go our separate ways. Mm-hmm. As far as the bubbly part, what was the first part?
How do you keep your relationship with your husband so bubbly?
I think this easy. Like she said, I just have a bubbly personality, and to be honest with you, like, number one is I joke around with her. I'll play around with her. Sometimes she gets annoyed with me, but you know, I'll maybe like I'll be walking out the bathroom and I'll throw a pillow at her or something, and then you know she'll chase me around the house. So it's just like, it's fun up in here. Yeah, it's fun up in here. You know what I mean? Like,
y'all actually don't get it all.
Yeah, y'all don't get it all. Like, but we be having fun. Like one time she was spraying me with the water gun. I mean, we just have fun, man. Like, again, being the best friend. And so for her, it's like when she sees me bubbly and me being high on life, it's easy for her to just do it as well, you know?
And then also, I mean, we can't forget, I'm naturally like that too. Like, I'm just a more like positive, optimistic person, just by nature. So
yeah,
I don't know, even when one of us is down, it's kind of hard for us to both stay down, because the other person's usually opposite to pick the other person up. So it's just a partnership.
And she picks me up. I mean, there are days when I'm stressed or I get flustered, and it doesn't have anything to do with her, but she understands and knows that, look, okay, this is my opportunity as his wife to pick him up, you know, and vice versa. This is my opportunity as her husband to pick her up. So we'll go on a date, we'll go do something. We don't have any kids, so we just can pick up and just go wherever. Or we'll be like, you know what? We need a weekend getaway. We'll book flights and we'll go somewhere and have fun. And I mean, that's just...
I was gonna say, I'm glad. That brings me to my next question.
Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of, we're best friends. We have fun. We kick it. We vibe, connect. You know, it is what it is, you know? We're like two kids on a playground.
Okay, so next one is, how do you stay on budget when traveling?
I take care of that.
He's our budget guy. So we just go, normally he has a figure in his head that we, you know, when we get close to it, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
She doesn't, yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't care. I just want to live my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does all that.
I do research. I mean, we don't do a lot of last minute stuff. Trips that we have normally that we pay for are in advance, are booked in advance, and everything's planned in advance. I do research. I go on multiple sites. I look at the itinerary. I've researched restaurants, what the menus is, what the prices are. I mean, I'm just doing all that. And so, like she said, we have a figure in mind of what we want to do, how we want to move, and we tend to stay around that figure for the most part.
Until we're walking in the store and I'm like,
yeah,
a bag.
Right. Until she see a bag somewhere, then we're like, and I'm like, yeah. So it's just about doing your research and making sure that you don't just book the first thing available, because you never know, you could be getting a better deal somewhere else, and just making sure that all that lines up from a standpoint of researching multiple options. So. Hope that helps.
All right, let's see. Next one. Oh, I like this one.
Okay.
Ways to be more intimate without sex. Love that question.
Okay. So you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go. So to me, intimacy is a lot of like communicating. I think that is maybe most women would more so understand, but it's just a lot of like communicating and like dates and, you know, like intentional dates. And I don't know, I guess it's just like a lot of communicating. That's, to me, that's like, if we're like mind making out, I don't know how to say it, like brain working, like if our brains are like making out, you know, it's kind of like that's intimacy to me, you know, that connection like deep in the head and in the heart and like in the soul versus like the physical, right? True. So for me,
and that's kind of one thing.
So communicating.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things I had to learn. It's just, how do I get deep in conversation? Because I mean, to be real, Destiny will tell you, I wasn't like that at first. I was very surface level, and I don't know if it's because I didn't want to talk about certain things or what, but she had to. It took her telling me, "Hey, look, you know, I want you to get deep." That's how I'm stimulated. You know what I mean? And so communicating, yeah.
He doesn't know if I don't tell him.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't do it. He's not talking, he's not communicating.
Yeah. And this is why this goes back to what we said about date nights, right? Because date nights allows you to be in a one-on-one setting with your significant other, not necessarily in the house, nice little restaurant, and you're actually just talking. You're decompressing. You're really just really talking about what's going on. But also, at the same time, you have to be asking those questions as well. You can't just expect, you can't just expect really men to like open up unless you actually ask those questions, because closed mouths don't get fed, right? And we as men, we're just different. We're wired differently. We're not wired to open up and be vulnerable, but it may take you having to pull it out of them. There's been a couple times where I had to get it pulled out of me. And I'm not preaching what I haven't been through or practiced, but sometimes you just have to ask. You have to be intentional and wanting to have the desire to want to know what's going on in his or her world. Yeah. You know, this doesn't apply to men. So I would say date nights is intimacy. I would say, you know, taking a bath together. I mean, I know it's physical when you know, taking a bath together, but like those relaxation moments, like maybe you have some candles going, bath going, bubbles. Those are intimate moments for us that's not like sexual. I don't know, us, you know, maybe there's been times where we cooked together. I was on the grill, she was doing stuff. And
oh yeah, I love those times.
Those times we connected. It's just finding ways to connect that doesn't have to be physical. You can connect in so many other ways. And
playing games, game nights.
Yeah. We do game nights. We do. Oh, we got a couple games where we get like really deep as far as asking like questions.
Yeah, we like the card games.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll try to find one on Amazon that's we really love. I forgot the name of it, but I'll link it below.
Let's Get Deep.
It's called Let's Get Deep, and it's really cool. So yeah.
So those are just some tips that we're recommending y'all, and also praying as well. Praying is
heavy on that.
I mean,
that's number one.
That's number one. Like,
okay, this is fun. I like this question. If you and Brandon could write a song about your life,
oh gosh,
what would the title be, and what type of genre would it be?
Oh man. So I think if I had to do a song about my life, I would title it Flip That Switch. And
I like it. Flip That Switch.
Flip That Switch. And it would be a combination of R&B and then rap. Like I would have somebody rapping like Drake, but then I would throw like Beyonce on the hook.
Okay, I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
Flip that switch just because I had to flip that switch to be able to pursue this one. Straight up. I was single, was out there, and not out there like that, but in the streets and stuff. And then I made a decision like, you know what? I want to settle down, do my thing. So I started flipping that switch, and before you knew it, boom, she came.
Which is funny because he's literally been saying that since the beginning of time. I had to flip this switch. Like, that's what he tells people all the time.
What's yours?
That's our song. I like it.
No.
She said if you and Brandon had to write a song, what would it be?
Right, you and me about our life.
No, I like it. I'm gonna use it.
Nah. You see how she got out of that?
I like it. That's why I want to do it.
You see how she got out of that?
I like it. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Hold up. Time out. I'm sorry, Beyonce. I would actually have Aaliyah on the hook.
Nah, we need Beyonce.
Nah, Aaliyah.
No shade, but...
No shade to Beyonce, but yeah, Aaliyah.
No shade to Aaliyah, but Beyonce.
No. Comment down. Well, we've had this discussion before. I didn't even know.
Actually, yeah, what do y'all think? Well, you know what?
I feel like had Aaliyah not, rest her soul, had she not passed away, she would have been up there with Beyonce. She definitely would have.
Okay.
If at first you don't succeed.
All right. I like this question because we do get it a lot for some reason. Okay, have you ever thought of using a surrogate or adoption?
I said I don't want to.
Same.
We've seen too many Lifetime movies where the surrogate ends up either falling in love with the husband
or killing the wife,
or at the last minute she decides, no, I want this baby, I don't want to give it up.
And she doesn't. You know what, on a serious note, that's one of my biggest fears. Like I have thought of, definitely not adoption, but I have thought of surrogacy, only dealing with fertility and stuff. Those things have crossed my mind, but it would that is my fear, that they would be like, oh, well, I don't want to give the baby anyway. I mean, I don't want to give you the baby anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, and I would only do it if it were my DNA and his DNA, not like someone else. Like, that person would only carry it. I think there's different types of surrogacy, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't have time for people wanting to change their mind at the last second.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest reasoning for, which I don't know what the laws are. I don't even know if you could after a certain point. Yeah. But just waiting for that point, I think, would stress me out too much. And the bottom line of it is, we have prayed and we are 100% okay if God doesn't bless us with our own. So I think that's where adoption is off of the table for us at this time. Who knows what the future might hold, but just at this time.
Yeah.
But surrogacy, I guess it would just depend. But God forbid we just don't even have to go those routes. I mean, honestly, that's the goal for right now. We have not given up hope. So yeah.
So yeah, y'all just keep praying for us, because at the end of the day, whatever God wants to do, he's gonna do, and we're okay with it. We've already given it to him from a standpoint of, whatever you want to do. Like, even if it's, God forbid, even if something doesn't happen, then we're okay. We'll figure it out. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of life. We still have to continue to make an impact and inspire and do what we do. So that's what we're going to continue to do either way. You know. So yeah, whatever happens, happens. That's kind of the mindset we've adopted.
So that wraps up the Q&A.
Oh, we done. We ain't got no more questions. Oh, I like these.
We love you guys so much. Thank y'all for tuning in. And y'all gotta pay attention to your community tab, okay? Because we are gonna be going live one day this week. Okay?
Can we tell them the day?
So
can we just tell them?
No. Pay attention to the community tab. We're gonna post it, okay? Put your bell on so you can get the notifications.
Oh wait, okay, hold up. So okay, I know. Okay, listen. This is the big announcement.
Yeah.
So
this is the big announcement.
This is the big announcement. So we are not going to give it away today, but pay attention to the community tab. Like, start paying attention to it like today.
Yeah.
Because it's coming soon.
Check out the description bar right now because there's a link for you to click and for you to enter your email. And you're going to be the first to know when the surprise actually happens. So don't forget to hit that link, y'all. Add your email. Please, please, please.
Hey.
I love you and we will see you in the next one.
We out.
Peace.